And I have a big handwriting, so like, you know what I mean?
I just did it really short and sweet. Yes, I just put like lines and I said, look at what's there. If you didn't see it.
Hi, Mama.
Hi there. Didn't we see each other about an hour ago? Right? You know, everyone else had to yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what you say. And then you make up meetings. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Muy a la moda. Cuando gustes. It's kind of. What kind of cake did you get? Very good. Very good.
We didn't ask that, not yet. But I will ask. How was your birthday girl?
I meant to bring you.
No.
You know, for fun.
Sí.
All right,
Okay.
okay, I have it at the house.
No big deal. Good on, $6 She's so shenanigans. Right along. It's gonna be a long one today, right, guys? But I think it's gonna be awesome. I think they'll enjoy it.
Five, 6, 7, 8. That's gonna be.
Sorry.
And then of course we have 10, which.
Good afternoon, board members, administrators, faculty, college staff, students, and guests. The time is 6 p.m. on this, the 27th day of June, 2024, and I call this meeting of the Laredo College Board of Trustees to order. If I can have Mr. Delgado say the prayer. Mr. Martinez, Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Loving and gracious God, you're indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you today for all of your blessings, for the successful outcomes of our college events, and for all of our faculty, our staff, and our students. We ask that you bless them abundantly as we continue to seek your wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength. Be with us in our deliberations and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in our leadership. Give us the insight to lead with integrity so that our decisions may reflect what is right and what is good. Help us to make decisions that are for the good of all and guard us from blind self-interest. Dear Lord, grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and all that we say. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mrs. Ramos, could you please call roll?
Yes, ma'am. Lupita Cepeda,
Present.
Jorge J.D. Delgado,
Present.
Jackie Leven Ramos, present. Erica Benavides Garcia,
Present.
Cindy Liendo,
Present.
Mercurio Martinez Jr.,
Present.
Esteban Rangel, absent. Karina Lizondo,
Present.
Tita Cantuvela, absent. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the regular monthly board meeting of May 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion by Mrs. Ramos. I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item I have is public testimony. I do have somebody signed up for public testimony, Alejandra Rodriguez.
Come up to the
You
podium.
you can come up to the podium. And I'm just going to read the guidelines on the public comment. An individual comments to the board shall not exceed 3 minutes per meeting. When there are 6 or less speakers scheduled, the board president may extend each speaker time to 5 minutes. Time may not be ceded from one speaker to another. The board president may also limit the total amount of time for public testimony, but not to less than 30 minutes. The speaker may not speak on personal or student matters that refer to individuals by name or title. After a speaker's comment, the board president shall make whatever response, if any, or take whatever action. If any is deemed appropriate to handle the matter, such response or action may include the following: referring the matter to the college president for action or for further recommendations, referring the matter to a later meeting or to a board committee for further discussion or study, indicating that the matter shall be taken under advisement. If the board president determines that a person has not attempted to resolve a matter administratively, the person shall be directed to the appropriate policy for attempted resolution before bringing the matter to the board. So Ms. Alejandra Rodriguez?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandra Rodriguez, here on behalf of the Laredo Public Health Department. I'm the program coordinator for the Healthy Texas Mothers and Babies program and also the coordinator for the Texas Mother Friendly Worksite. I'm here to express my support for the Texas Mother Friendly Worksite policy here at Laredo College. Implementing this policy will provide essential support for breastfeeding mothers and promoting the health and well-being for both employees and their children. By adopting this policy, Laredo College will demonstrate its commitment to creativity, a inclusive and work environment. Thank you to the board. I also would like to thank Laredo College HR department and also Dr. Minita Ramirez. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Madam Chair,
Chair recognizes Dr. Ramirez.
for the record, this is item 9M, which was discussed at our policy meeting yesterday, and you'll get a summary of the agenda item by Ms. Vela. No, sorry, by Ms. Ramos.
Ms.
Sorry.
Ramos. Okay, thank you. Moving on to number 5, recognitions, introduction of personnel and new personnel actions for the month. 5A is recognition of Sergeant Ramon Salazar, Laredo College Campus Police Department, Dr. David Ariasola and Mr. Jose Hernandez.
Madam Chair, we're going to defer that item until next month so that both Sergeant Salazar and Chief Hernandez could be here. They're at training.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. 5B is completion of Texas Success Center Leadership Academy. Dr. Minita Ramirez, Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina.
Go ahead.
Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, Provost Vice President of Academic Affairs. I'm very proud to say that the Texas Success Center, they were selected through a national competitive process to partner with the National Center for Inquiry and Improvement and the Aspen Institute for Community College Excellence to spearhead a leadership development program. We were able to nominate 2 of our very own, and luckily they were accepted. So we're very proud of both. I think Dr. Heriberto Hernandez is here, if he could step up. And Andrea Lopez unfortunately could not be here today, but we're very proud of her too. This program focuses on a foundational understanding of critical student success and change management concepts. And on June 13th, Dr. Martha Ellis, she presented them with a certificate of completion, and we're very proud of their completion of this very important program that lasted about a year. Right? And I don't know if Dr. Hernandez has something to sum up about it.
Good evening, board members. Dr. Ramirez, Heriberto Hernandez, Associate Provost. It was indeed a year-long leadership academy. It was just a great experience. A lot of insight into, the many challenges that community colleges are facing across the state, and how different leaders are dealing with it, right? And while we face the same, pretty much the same challenges, each leader has a different perspective and how they approach it, right? So that was very enlightening to see what other colleges are doing in that respect. I want to thank Dr. Tijerina for her nomination, and Dr. Benita for supporting the nomination and ultimately approving the time that it took to participate in this Leadership Academy. But a very great experience.
All right, congratulations.
Madam Chair, this is equivalent to what I would consider a fellowship. What is it considered a postgraduate fellowship for both Dr. Hernandez and Ms. Andrea Lopez. These fellowships through the support of the Aspen program at the state level really do give insights to our leaders, and we've discussed at numerous points throughout these last couple of years is how do we build up our own cadre of academic leadership and really all of the leadership within our community college for the future of the college. And so this is one way, and this is one program in which we're participating in with staff. Their graduation was on the 13th, and not every community college got in this first round. We have nominated 2 others. We're waiting to hear for the next round. Hopefully we'll get selected again, thanks to the efforts and the work that our first cohort did. But we're very proud of the work that they were able to accomplish and support of the college. So thank you for the opportunity, and congratulations to both of our nominees.
Thank you. Congratulations to Dr.
Congratulations.
Hernandez and Ms. Lopez. Next item is 5C, appointment to Texas Association of Community College Human Resource Professionals, TACCHR. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
Madam Chair, it gives me great pleasure, and certainly we're very excited. We are now in the midst of the vice president for the Texas Association of Community College Resource Professionals. Ms. Veronica Cardenas was selected statewide to lead their organization as the vice president. And so I wanted to take a moment to recognize her and her efforts and congratulate her. But I don't know if you want to come in and say anything. This organization statewide does help support all of the colleges across the state of Texas in their HR efforts. They do help each other all the way through. And so respected well enough across the state as our own HR director. So
Congratulations.
Veronica Cárdenas, Executive Director of Human Resources, and we go every year to their annual conference. And this year we went ahead and they went ahead and nominated me and was able to be voted in as their vice president. And yes, as Dr. Minita mentioned, we collaborate with each other and making sure that we're all, if we need to support each other in some way, the 50 community colleges, we work together. And so I'm now part of their board officers, and I'm very proud to represent Laredo College.
Congratulations. Next
Madam-
item.
Madam Chair, may I,
Chair recognizes
just
Mr.
to acknowledge
Martinez.
that Ms. Vela is now present by video.
Ms. Tita Vela has just joined our meeting. Next item is 5D. Introduction of personnel actions. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
thank you, Madam Chair. This month has been exciting. We've been able to make some reorganizations thanks to the approval of our new reorganizational chart. And I'm honored to reintroduce the Associate Provost for Strategic and Collaborative Partnerships, Dr. Heriberto Hernandez. Our Curriculum Systems Director, Ms. Ana Proa. Ana. Data Effectiveness Coordinator, who wasn't able to be here tonight for the Title V Lead Grant is Jerry Rojas. He couldn't be here tonight. But we did receive that Title V grant, and through the Lead Grant, we were able to have Jerry join the team. Instructional Assistant Allied Health, Ms. Marisela Villalobos. Marisela, are you here? And the Title V Lead Center Coordinator, Ms. Diana Juarez. Diana, there you are. An enrollment coach, that's a new hire, Ms. Michelle Canales. Michelle? And Interim Director of Physical Plant and Operations and Maintenance, Mr. Jose L. Tijerina, who's not here this evening. But so we've added a nice cadre of staff. The Title V Lead Grant is going to really support students in their efforts as part of our retention efforts as well. And so we're very excited about that Title V grant. And as we move forward in that, could we take a picture with all of the employees, please?
Sure.
Sure. Would you all come forward, please, to take a picture with the board?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Clap. 1, 2, 3.
Next item we have is number 6, Faculty Senate Report, Dr. Gilberto Martinez.
Madam Chair, we have a new Faculty Senate President. We're honored to have him here with us today. Faculty member, Dr. Gilberto Martinez, no stranger to this board and certainly no stranger to Laredo College, and we're very excited to have him back on our faculty. So thank you for being here tonight, sir.
Thank you, President Ramirez, leadership team, honorable trustees. For the record, Gilberto Martinez Jr. I'm a drama and speech instructor, Laredo College, and the newly appointed faculty senate president. I was not elected, I was appointed because the president, we kind of switched places. So now she's the vice president. And I just wanted to come, I don't really have a report. I just wanted to come and say hello and I look forward to working with President Ramirez, the leadership team and the trustees. I think we're all ready to do that. And one caveat though, the faculty are also in full support of item 9M. I think that's a very important place to be a Texas mother-friendly institution. And I also want to thank the provost and her team for all the work they did for item 10E, adopting and approving the post-tenure comprehensive review guidelines. Those guidelines are excellent, they're fair, and I believe that they will work for all our tenured faculty members, and we're in full support of that. So thank you very much for all the work you've done, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And welcome. The next item is information items, 7A, United Independent School District Early College End of the Year Presentation. Mr. Julio Reyes and UISD representative.
Madam Chair, if I may, I'd like to introduce some of our guests here this evening from the United Independent School District. Julio, are you going to introduce them? You go ahead. You want me to do it? Okay. From Lyndon B. Johnson High School, we have Yesenia Sandoval. From United South High School, Mr. Robert Burrier, my former student, I'm just saying. United High School, Maria Teresa Lopez. And Alexander High School, Michelle Lopez. Thank you all for being here.
Good evening, everyone. Julio Reyes, Director of Recruitment and Dual Enrollment. Today with me, I am passing the mic over to our partners from UISD. They're here to share a little bit of what happened throughout the year with the UISD Early College Program. So I will pass it over to them so they can provide us with a little bit of more that has happened.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. Thank you so much for the opportunity to highlight the great success that United ISD's early college programs has had through the collaborative and supportive partnership with Laredo College. So our students have achieved great student success, and academic achievement has been able to come to fruition through our combined efforts, which puts students at the forefront of all that we do. So to begin our presentation, we would like to go over a couple of data from our programs for this coming year. And I just wanted to let you know also that this year we were able to open 2 additional early colleges at United High School and Alexander High School that welcomed its first cohort, which would be the class of 2027.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Good evening, board. My name is Michelle Lopez. I'm the proud early college dean at Alexander High School. And so, yes, we did open our very first early college this year, and we've had a lot of success in our program. I got to experience and see our students grow this year. And it's just amazing to see how well they were doing. So at Alexander High School, we currently have 102 students that are out of our 110 that have remained in our program. While our economically disadvantaged number of students or at-risk students are not as high in this group, right? Next year's group may be another story, but we are on track. We've got about 99% of our students that have passed all of their college courses, and they're doing exceptionally well. So we're extremely proud of them, and they're ready to move on to their next round of courses as they enter their sophomore year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Good afternoon again. My name is Maria Teresa Lopez, and I'm the proud dean of United High School's Early College. We had our first cohort this year, and we began with 109 students, of which 106 are still currently enrolled in our programs. As you can see, we do have a high percentage of economically disadvantaged, with slightly over half of them being part of this group. In addition, we've also had great success in preparing our students to be college ready. I know that in this presentation, it says 78 out of 106, but due to current testing and with the fact that we had some students even come in today, our very last day, we had that number go up. And so now we're actually at 76% completers for the English language arts. So we're very proud of their success, and we're very excited to move forward and to welcome them over to the main campus and to continue seeing them grow.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Robert Burr, Dean for the Early College at United South High School. We're going to get our newest cohort this year. We have about 100 students. So we're going to graduate our very, very first cohort this coming year. So we're excited. If you look at our numbers right now, we have 96 students who are going to graduate. Out of those students who are going to graduate, we have 71% who are eco-dis, 27% are at risk. And if you look, we have the 10th graders, 9th graders, you know, our numbers do meet what TA requires us to be designated as early colleges. What I'm most excited about that happened this year is we're building a pipeline of Laredo College students. So when they graduate, you know, we don't want them to stop there. You know, so with the help of our administrative team in central office, we have taken the students out to four-year university so they can, as soon as they graduate with us, they get an associate's degree, they can either go to other state institutions. So we have field trips to Texas State, St. Mary's, you know, all the corridor through 35. We take them and they can see what is out there. So it's come to the time where kids say, "Oh, you're going to take us to Baylor?" No, let's stick to state institutions. But no, we have done that. We want to build a pipeline, and it's not a pipeline from United South to the university. It's Laredo College, United South, and we're building a pipeline, and that's what we want to do. We've allowed students to skip a lot of steps in life, right? You know, but they can graduate with an associate's degree, you know, and we're excited about that. Currently, we have from our rising sophomores, the freshmen, 96 students who are on track to get an associate degree. 100% of our rising juniors are on track, and 93% of our seniors are on track to get a degree. So it's not just the job that we're doing, but it's the collaboration that we've done with Laredo College. And for that, we thank you. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do that in partnership with you also. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm the OG. I've already graduated. My name is Yesenia Sandoval. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yesenia Sandoval, and I was here 10 years ago with with their first cohort and their first, we've already graduated at Lyndon B. Johnson High School. 6 early college graduating classes with Associate of Arts and 4 with Associate of Science. And I'm going to go over the numbers, but yes, it is like Mr. Berrier and the other deans have mentioned, it is a pipeline, especially for us in the South. We're changing the trajectory of our kids' lives. So here we have, this is our cohort. These 12th graders are the ones that already graduated. The very first slide had the new cohort, the kids that just finished last week doing the TSI at our campus. We had them last week. But these are the kids that graduated. All of you who were at the graduation saw all of those 128 kids graduate. And out of those 128, including the Blicia kids, we also had, I believe, almost 80 of those kids all had cords with honors. So they're not just graduating like barely, they are getting, their GPAs are up there and they're getting scholarships. We had a Terry Scholar from our graduating class, and they were early college kids. We had Bill Gates graduate. So it's not students that are just graduating with the minimum. They are reaching, and these are our numbers. In economic disadvantage, I'm sure all of you know where LBJ is at. So our population is the highest economically disadvantaged. It is the highest at risk, but nevertheless, that does not make the expectations that we have of these students any different from any other student in North Laredo. For our early college kids, if we look at the freshmen, we have 99% of our kids are on track to graduate. 53% of them already passed the ELAR part of the TSI, and 79 already passed the math from the freshmen. And the sophomores, 92%, 83%, those are the ones that are on track. For early college, for 11th grade, it's 88% for the math, 83 for the ELAR, and 79 are on track. And our seniors, these are the ones that already graduated, so we did have 64% of our, and that little asterisk there is that bad word that we've been using for the last 3 years, COVID. We will no longer have the COVID excuse anymore. None of our kids will have missed a year in high school because of COVID. So I tell them, we said, okay, we're taking off that asterisk, and COVID cannot be an excuse for anything anymore. These are the number of kids we've graduated with associate's degrees. In the last 6 graduating classes, we've graduated a total of 510 kids with Associate of Arts. So that's 66%, and that's with the early college program. We also have the BLISA because I'm the dean for both programs. We have a regular early college and a P-Tech. That's how the state distinguishes them, and that's because they're career oriented, and ours is the health field. So these are our graduates from the Associate of Arts, our early college graduates. This was last month. And these are the BLISIA, Biotechnology and Life Science Innovative Academy. That's the name of it. All our kids here have opportunities to get the Associate of Science, but they're also able to get different certifications. And I'll show you the screen right now, the slide with the number of certifications that these students are earning. Some of these students are graduating from high school with an associate's, and they have all these certificates where they're going to work at places. Obviously, I mean, hopefully they're continuing for their bachelor's and their master's, but they're able to get jobs with these kinds of certificates. They're not making minimum wage. They're earning more money and being able to help themselves within the college years. For the BLISIA, these are the numbers we have. 50% of the 9th graders are at risk, 88 are economically disadvantaged. And like I mentioned, that is a high number, but that is never an excuse for our students. The expectations are still the same, that they have to succeed. We just know we need to put a little bit more cushion on that support system. These are the ones that are on track. 99% of our freshmen are on track, 73 of our sophomores, and 59% of our juniors. And the 12th graders, the 56%, those are the ones that already graduated last month. Okay. So with the Associate of Science degrees, we have had 4 graduations because we started that one 2 years after the early college. So we've already graduated a total of 234 students with Associate of Sciences from LBJ. And then from this, these students, I know that for sure we have, I think, 2 in medical school, PAs, and all of these different students. Our counselors keep track, or because we have the siblings. So a lot of our students are going places. It's not, you get the degree here, because we do provide a lot of support for the students. We have a lot of support for them, but when you leave, you're not going to get this. It's the same thing as parents. I'm doing this for you, but when you leave, you're not going to get it, but we still provide it for them, knowing that when they go out into the world where they're not going to have it. We do the same thing at the campus. And this is support, and this is the support you're getting. But when you leave, you're not going to get it. And when you go to the college, at university, you're not going to get this, but they're getting there and they're being successful. So we have a lot of our students. These are Associate of Science students that graduated in May. And these are the different certificates. This year, we had a total of 76 IBCs, industry-based certifications. 52 were the CCMAs, 2 RDAs, 3 phlebotomists, 6 in the pharmacy, and 13 in the EKG. This is our first year for the EKG. So we had 13. Those are the number of certificates that were earned by our students at Lyndon B. Johnson High School. And these are our community partners. Please support these people or say thank you. Those of you who know. Powell, Laredo Medical Center, doctors, Clear Choice. It is very nice to see our students when we go to different places. I know it's happened to me this summers for me, when you reach 52, summers for me are checkups and everything. I have every Friday, I have something, another checkup and another checkup. And I go in there and they're like, are you still at LBJ? I'm like, yes. And they're drawing my blood. So I'm like,
That's what Robert Burrier says to me.
Yes. So these are our partners, and these are the different places that our students go to. These are the different work-based learning opportunities our students have had at different places. These are our certified medical assistants. And that's it.
Very nice.
Any questions? Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Ramos.
I do. You know, I have to always have a question. The slide that you showed, the number of students graduating and then the other number. So the difference, those students that you graduated, the remainder difference, those students did not meet the requirements to get their
They didn't
certificates?
meet the 60 hours, Ms. Ramos, but they are, most of them are 42 are core complete, 42 hours or more. So those are the students that we mainstream over to Mr. Reyes and because we want them to finish here
Mhm.
the next semester, whatever classes they need, a semester or two. Sometimes it's only the summers that they need, and then so they can move on to. But yes, those are the students that we have a pipeline, like those are the names. Okay, these are the kids that you're still gonna get this summer. So we send them over here for summer and fall so they can finish whatever they need, because it's normally most of the kids have the 42 hours already. I want to say maybe 2 out of the whole group were not at the 42. And the ones that don't get the certificate or the 42 is because they don't get to pass their TSI their freshman year. So it's very hard for them to catch up.
Yeah.
Once they pass it or they get the 4,000 on the English 2-star, we end up giving them the courses, but they're already juniors and seniors, so it's kind of hard for them to finish, but they are still taking the courses.
And then the ELAR is English Language Arts, correct?
Right.
For the TSI.
Just in case, because
Yes.
we know it, but maybe somebody might
Yes.
not know it.
And in the math, that's why our numbers are very high, because in the math, the students who get the 4,000 on the algebra 1, end of course, or the star, they get a 4,000, they're exempt from TSI, so.
And lastly, I do want to say congratulations because we started the program when I first came in to be on the board. And I've seen the difference that's happened all throughout the years. And then as part of the staff at United South, I've seen it grow. And so I look forward to the other schools also, I mean, exponentially graduating students from, you know, that's what we anticipated at the very beginning. It was one of our goals that we started off with. And we're on the right track. And certainly, I think we're very proud of the institution and also of UISD and the partners that we've set up.
Yes, thank you. And I wish Dr. Carranza would have been here. He was a board member when he asked me, where are these kids going? I said, I don't know yet, sir, but I can tell you later. He asked me the first year, I said, I don't know where they're going.
We'll give
But
you
they've
that.
been going to a lot of places, yes. We'll send them a text message. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for everything that you do for our students here at UISD, and we're happy to continue the partnership with you. I know our staff is always willing to help, and thank you again for everything that you do for us.
Ms. Cepeda,
We appreciate it.
may I ask a question?
Yes, Chair recognizes Dr. Ramirez.
Did your students like wearing their high school cap and gown for our graduation?
Some of them did. I think that the parents were the ones that were when the calls, right? It was more the parents that were the ones that were calling.
Oh,
Why
okay.
did they change this? But
I thought it
the
looked
kids-
very nice.
I like the way they look, yeah, because you could distinguish.
Yeah.
distinguish.
Well, we liked it, but I don't know what kind of
We can
feedback
survey.
you all got.
We can survey the kids.
That would be nice. That would be nice to know, because I think that for us, it helped us and it helped all of us to be able
Yes.
to recognize the impact that our dual credit program has on our entire academic program. But and to recognize the students and their efforts, but I don't know how they feel.
I don't know, we didn't get any, I mean, the kids don't complain to me. They'll totally complain to the counselor if they have something. And if it's something that I can fix, they come to me. But if it's like a little complaint like that, it's like, it's already a done deal. I complain to me.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Anybody else? No?
I like it.
And I do want to mention, I'm sorry, that the partnership that we've had with Laredo College is something that we've had every year. We have a TA coach that they come and help us. Every early college gets a TA coach. And they've always recognized the partnership because even from the get-go, we've presented at the different state conferences with our partnership. Because when we first went to the first one, everybody was like, no, our IHEs, they don't help. And it's they have all these problems. And we were like, okay, we were starting off and I was scared. But then when we started working with Laredo College, it ended up being like the partnership was very strong. And we presented at the regional one and at the state on the partnership, like how we work. Because it's something that even our coaches have noticed. We have so, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all
Keep
very
up the
much.
good work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mr. Esteban Rangel joining our board meeting. Next item is 7B, Flamenco Festival, June 30th through August the 3rd. Ms. Patricia Godinez.
Madam Chair, she's not here today and presenting will be Mr. Rene Gonzalez.
Okay. We have a flyer in here.
Good afternoon,
Yes, we do.
Ms. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Ramirez. For the record, Rene Gonzalez, Director of Development. In late 2023, the Laredo College applied for a grant through the leadership of Dr. Ramirez with the Prairie Foundation to create a festival, if you will, of dance and highlight some of the individuals that have been part of Laredo's history and their role in dance throughout the world, actually. And we'll be having a festival called, and we're naming it the Flamenco Festival, which and it's short for, will be Flamenco Fest 2024, and it'll be taking place July 30th through August 3rd. And it will consist of workshops and two events. One is a company, it's the Flamenco Preparatory Company of the United States, and it's Hijastros is the name of the company, and the other one will be at the Kaizen Center. We'll be having a smaller venue of dancers who will highlight their role. And to tell you that we'll have 3 individuals coming back to Laredo who are born and raised here. 2 of them will be teaching classes, 1 beginners and 1 intermediate courses, and showcasing the work that they've done throughout the country. Some of them just coming back from Spain, from Madrid, Spain, and doing a tablaos over there. So we have some individuals that began their dance career in Laredo and have now conquered the world. And at this moment, we're working on what you have in front of you is a flyer that we're working on. It's as we're working on, because at this moment, most of them are in a festival themselves participating in. So we're still trying to get bios, information from them that get it. And we hope to launch this next week. So with July 4th, Independence Day, we'll be celebrating also the awakening of this information, and we'll be working with the marketing department to highlight social media and other departments and create a QR where we have posters throughout the city and doing the workshops. And the workshops will be not only 3 dance workshops, but it'll be a guitarra workshop on flamenco and a cante workshop. So if any of you board members want to learn how to sing in flamenco, in a flamenco festival, they'll teach you. So we look forward to having you on, and we invite everyone in the community to come and participate in the Flamenco Fest. And we look forward to starting this soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you're the right person to ask, but are we ever going to be looking at a mariachi program? I know we used to have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Next item is 7C, implementation of new salary thresholds for exempt employees under the Federal Labor Standards Act, FLSA. Ms. Veronica Cardenas.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Veronica Cardenas, Executive Director of Human Resources. And we wanted to advise the board that the Fair Labor Standards Act, or FLSA regulations have been revised. And these new regulations outline a phased approach to the implementation. There's going to be a first phase effective July 1st of 2024 that increases the minimum salary threshold to $43,888. And this is for the exempt salary threshold. And then there will be another excuse me, another threshold on January 1st of 2025, which is 58,656. That's the minimum that an exempt employee would be making. However, for this particular phase, there are some lawsuits in place, and we don't think that it's going to be taking effect. So we're going to be monitoring that particular date. So these new regulations include also an automatic update to the minimum salary threshold every 3 years, and this will begin July 1st of 2027. So of course, this rule will impact employers across the country as well as Laredo College, and they do impact some of our employees who are currently exempt staff. Now, please note that the faculty and the non-exempt staff or the hourly employees will not be impacted. So there will be some positions and they have been identified. The departments and the impacted employees have been made aware on how the college is addressing these changes. And again, the only one we have to take into consideration is effective July the 1st. So these exempt employees making less than the new salary threshold of $43,888 will be impacted as follows. Some of them will be transitioned from exempt staff to non-exempt staff. In other words, they'll be able to be eligible for overtime compensation. And some will be receiving a very small salary adjustment and remain exempt. They will not be eligible for overtime. And so some exempt employees that do make more than the new salary threshold will become non-exempt because of their job position or their job code that as a whole is going to move into hourly. So because we have in place the pay maintenance that we do every year, the impact is not as much. So we did identify 5 employees that will be needing to move to the hourly or biweekly payroll. And there will be 6 that because they fall under this same position code, even though they make more, they will be also moved. So that would be a total of 11 in pay grade 101. And in pay grade 102, there are 8 employees, and those will receive a slight increase less than $500. And so that way they can remain in the exempt status. And so this amount will be about $3,500. And so again, this is pay grade 102, and only 8 employees will be impacted on that. And we'll continue monitoring the January the 1st, 2025 phase date. And so if that is going to pass, we'll go ahead and advise the board at that time. If it doesn't, then we remain as is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Cardenas. The next item is 7D, Laredo College Credit Rating Upgrade. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Ramirez, Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration for the record. Last week, we received notice from Fitch Ratings on the upgrade on our general obligation bonds. They have upgraded our ratings from a AA- to AA. And they have also affirmed the AA- rating on our revenue bonds. Both with a stable outlook. This is the second rating upgrade that we've received in the past year. Prior to that, S&P Global Ratings had also given us an upgrade on both the general obligation bond and the revenue bond. And again, those ratings are also at AA. With this rating, we are now considered to be at the very high credit quality level, and we're just 2 levels from the prime rating of AAA.
Very good.
Congratulations. That's great.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? We're working on it. We're working on it.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we were on the negative side, but that is a major turnaround.
Yes.
And we certainly want to compliment the administration, Dr. Ramirez, as well as our finance, gentlemen, that it does make a difference when the time does come for us to float a bond issue for any additional improvements or construction
Sure.
within our campus.
Sure does.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Again.
Congratulations again. 7E is notification of employee compensation during emergency closure as per Laredo College policy, DEA local, compensation and benefits, compensation plan. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
Madam Chair, thank you. As you stated, as per Laredo College Policy DEA Local, the board has authorized the college president to close the institution or teaching of the day and send employees home in cases of severe emergencies. If you recall, on June 19th, there was the threat of severe storm. All of the city, county, school districts, everybody was closed. We were the only ones that were actually open. Banks were closed. Everybody was closed that day except us. So we were here all morning, and as we monitored the day, at 10 a.m. that morning, we had a meeting with the Emergency Operations Center led by Chief Hurd, where they kept telling us that by 2 or 2:30, the weather was going to become extremely severe. At which point the leadership team got together. We decided that at 1:00 we would send everyone home. We sent you all notifications, but as per board policy, I am just letting you all know that we're going to pay the employees for that afternoon, as is allowed by board policy.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. Any questions? I'm forward to the next item, 7F, notification of board member travel to Association of Community College Trustees, ACCT, 2024 Leadership Congress, as per Laredo College Board Policies, BBG Local, Board Members, Compensation and Expenses, and BBH Local, Board Members, Conventions, Conferences, and Workshops. Ms. Jackie Levin Ramos.
Fellow board members, I just want to provide notification of my intent to participate in the 2024 ACCT Leadership Congress. It's going to be taking place, I believe, in Seattle, and it takes place in October. So I wanted to make sure that I notified our board so that we could go ahead and start preparing the itinerary and all of the information that goes with that trip.
Any questions? Thank you, Mrs. Ramos. I'm going to move to the next item, number 8, board committee reports. 8A is Student Success Committee Meeting Report. Ms. Erica Benavides Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did have our Student Success Committee meeting on Monday, June 24th, and I'm going to go over just it was a good meeting. It was a long meeting, but it was a good meeting. And I'm going to go over some of the agenda items. The first one is admissions office update, and as it relates to Apply Texas. Now our admissions is getting easier for our students because there's only one profile for students info, right? We get a free data collection for Laredo College. Also, our dashboard online and our help desk has been updated as well. We're working hand in hand with Apply Texas to solve the pending resolutions of approximately 500 students that are having a hard time, not through Laredo College's fault, but just through the process. All update changes are being communicated with the students via social media, and the enrollment management department is helping with the calls they get, and they usually respond back in about 24 hours. The next area is student life update. We went over orientation. This year, after, I guess they got some feedback. This year, the orientation is going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to focus on mental health. It will also be given in Spanish as well as English. And they get their information, the students get their information through Avaya. Is that how you pronounce it? Avaya. Avaya. And the information that they receive, excuse me, are the dates in which they are to meet here. They will be doing the student leaders will be doing the orientation, and its purpose is to familiarize the students, excuse me, with the campus, build connections, show them that they're supported, and instilling pride in our students, okay? Next, we went on to the food pantry that we have here at school, at the college. We partnered with South Texas Food Bank to benefit our students and their families. In November, I'm sorry, the number in October of 2023 that we serviced of students was 200 plus. Now in May of 2024, we're servicing over 1,300 plus students and their families. We have a pantry care center fueled by Maxient, which helps students with issues such as housing, financial aid, technology, and counseling. Mr. Rivera and his department are also looking for grants to sustain the pantry and its projects. Then we moved on to the learning, engaging in academic support through data-driven grant, which is LEAD. This grant was awarded in 2023 for 5 years. So it goes all the way through 2028 to help students meet their social and emotional needs. Through them, we have a summer bridge program that lasts for 2 weeks. The first week, they go over college resources, and the second week, it's TSI prep. After the 2 weeks, they have 2 testing dates, and they must pass both in order to receive their stipend and bypass remedial courses. We also have a lead center, and it's a space for students to take a break. There will be a licensed professional counselor available at this space. It will have an e-learning wellness hub at the Kaizen Center with standing desks and bicycle desks, I guess, things to just get them moving and get their mind moving. There will be professional development for faculty in 2024 to give this information, and we will be collecting data on this grant, okay? Next, we have an enrollment update. For summer session 1, enrollment was up 10% from last year. Summer session 2 was up 17% as of Monday. Right. As of Monday also, fall 2024 enrollment is down 64%. Last year at this time it was 8,800 plus, and this year right now it's 3,100 plus. But we have to take into account that we're still pending the numbers from the dual credit and the time, that the time that we're gonna, before we register these kids. There's also non-credit continuing ed are also down from last year, but still at par from where we were at this time last year. The financial aid updates. Applications received thus far are 6,200 plus. We have 3,900 plus students packaged and 2,100 plus already enrolled. We are also offering some new payment plan options for the first and second 8-week courses. Our important dates are Friday, August the 9th, which is graduation for students with a bachelor's degree at the Martinez Fine Arts Center. And we also have Palomino Saturdays here at Fort McIntosh and at the South, here at the Lerma Peña and at the South at Billy Hall on June the 29th, July the 27th, and August the 17th. Okay, we have an 8-week course update. Our success rates for our 8-week course is 84% on the first 8 weeks and 79% on the second 8 weeks. Our failing rate was 15% for the first 8 weeks and 20% for the second 8 weeks. And our retention rate for the first 8 weeks was 99%. And for the second 8 weeks, it was 94%. We also did a they did a comparison analysis, 8 weeks versus 16 weeks. Okay, the first 8 weeks, fall was 81%. Fall 2023 was 81%, and the second 8 weeks was 75%. For the spring of 2024, it went up. The first 8 weeks is 84%, and the spring of 2024 was 79%. And when you compare that to the 16-week courses in the fall of 2022, it was 71%. So it was still lower even than the second 8 weeks. So we still went up no matter, okay? And in the spring of 2023, it was 77%. So even at our lowest at 79, we still went up. So we are making good strides, okay? There's a 93 to 94% success rate for all students earning 6+ semester credit hours in an 8-week session. We have 8-week formats. They're enhancing and focusing academic achievement. We have high student engagement with 6+ student hours in enrollment. That we have ongoing support for the 8 weeks initiative in crucial, that it's crucial for student success. Okay. New programs for fall of 2024 and spring of 2025. We have computer-aided drafting and architectural technology. The computer-aided drafting will start in fall of 2024 with a 20-student cohort. We also have fire science program that will begin in spring of 2025. And it's in a collaboration with the Laredo Fire Department. And they're going to help us to develop the curriculum. And we're also going to use their sites. Also, we have forensic science technology that's scheduled for fall of 2025. And we are collaborating with the Laredo Police Department and other regional law enforcement to develop their curriculum. Our global logistics curriculum will be revamped for the fall of 2024 with an emphasis on experimental learning such as warehouse management, inventory control, and intro to advanced technologies in logistics. Also, construction management and engineering technology. We continue to gain traction for the traditional students. Our dual enrollment has capitalized on these two areas. Both are offering associates of applied science pathway to incoming 9th graders. And lastly, the workforce division continues to assess the feasibility of court reporting, industrial maintenance, plumbing, and you know what? I didn't even understand my own writing. Hold on one second. Power line technician. Okay. I was like, what did I write? So anyway, so we're also working on 2 new bachelor's degrees for September. And so that was our meeting. It was a really good meeting. Thank you to everybody. They worked really hard.
Thank you, Mrs. Garcia. Any questions? I'm going to move to the next item. It's 8B, Finance and Audit Committee Meeting Report. Mr. Jorge Delgado.
And I have to follow that.
Aye.
We had a very good meeting. We had a combined meeting, well, not necessarily combined. As far as our Finance and Audit Committee meeting, the meeting began with the May 2024 financial report that was presented by Mr. Villa. Definitely proceeded with approvals for several purchases, including audiovisual equipment for the Global Logistics Center and fixtures for the bookstore, which is going to consist of several changes. Now that we're grateful that our students and our faculty and staff are going to move towards OER. We had policy reviews and ratifications, which there will be a review and adoption of the LC board policy regarding investments. The committee will also, or the board will also ratify, hopefully, purchases for the Transportation and Technology Department, as well as student debt forgiveness initiatives. For educational and operational enhancements, approvals were sought for adjoining educational purchasing cooperatives, annual licenses for educational tools, and subscriptions for Weave Education. The committee also reviewed in hopes that the board will approve and discuss the call for the election for the Board of Trustees, places and discuss implementary, and also discuss implementing new salary thresholds for exempt employees under the Federal Labor Standards Act. There were several technology-related approvals on the agenda, including renewals of licenses for Microsoft and Oracle, and the implementation of Microsoft Intune and OneDrive services. And lastly, the agenda includes approval to use the student activity fees fund balance for student employee positions and the implementation of the Palomino Pledge for the academic year of the 2024-2025.
Thank you, Mr. Delgado, excuse me. I'm going to move to the next item, 8C, Building Committee Meeting Report, Mr. Mercurio Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had a very, very good presentation on the building as presented by Mr. Pais. Let me make only one observation other than the actual presentation dealing with the buildings that that are being addressed, but one area that, of course, there was major concern during the presumably storm that we were going to be going through, but unfortunately, of course, we did not. As a consequence, there was no major impact on any of our buildings. Now, there is one area of concern that, as far as I'm, in my own opinion, that obviously we need to address and coordinate very well, and that is with the Department of Public Safety, DPS building. And that particular building, of course, there's some need for major improvements on it. And in particular, because the DPS building, or the DPS department actually makes exceptional use of that basement, which is highly secured, because the only entrance is on the inside within the floor building. And they, of course, expressed concern because there's a need for some major repairs. But however, that is properly being addressed. And to us, it is important because we are very fortunate that we have not only our law enforcement personnel here, the police department, so to speak, but we do have the presence of DPS, which in my opinion is a very strong presence, in addition to the Border Patrol people. So, and the reason is obvious, because we are adjacent to the river, and we do have a number of illegals that actually cross through here. So our presence of these three law enforcement agencies is a plus, and in particular more so, we need to do whatever we can to provide the assistance to DPS on this particular building. So that is the only area of concern, in my opinion, that we strongly need to make sure that we provide assistance to them. And that's basically my report on that matter.
Good job, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. The next item is 8D, Program Policy Committee Meeting Report. Ms. Jackie Levin Ramos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At our Program and Policy Committee meeting, we discussed 4 items that have been placed, the majority of them in consent agenda, and 1 is not. Briefly, I will provide information on the following. It was 9M on our list for today's meeting, approval to adopt new board policy in Laredo College's pursuit to become a Texas mother-friendly worksite. And this was provided by Ms. Cardenas. Our HR director provided our committee members with the background and the policy DG local employee rights and privileges to comply with state requirements. The goal is to comply and provide support for mothers to return to work with a lactation support. We do have 2 areas where this will be taking place, or where they could take advantage of the opportunity, in room 139 at the Kazin Center and at the South Campus at Billy Hall building. And this, for the time being, it is for employees of our college at the Fort McIntosh and at the South Campus. And I commend Ms. Alejandra Rodriguez for coming in today and speaking on behalf of this item on the agenda. We do want to make sure that we provide information, policy, and procedures to our employees on the work pattern flexibility and break time, private non-bathroom locations to express breast milk, access to a nearby clean and safe water source, and access to storage options to safely store breast milk. The following item was also provided to us, modifications to DGBA local, DGBA regulation, and DGBA exhibit, personnel management relations, employee grievances. Ms. Veronica Cardenas and Mr. Garcia provided the committee with the recommended modifications to this particular policy. It is listed as 9N on our agenda. The goal of these modifications is to provide personnel with a grievance process that not only is orderly, but prompt and equitable in the resolution of grievances. Modifications are provided in the board book provided for this meeting. We hope that everyone has taken a look at it. And if you take a look at the item agenda, it is quite long, but it makes it provides us with the proper information for not only the grievant, but also for the college as well. The next item, the post-tenure comprehensive review guidelines presented by Dr. Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina and compiled with the assistance of faculty members to comply with Senate Bill 18. Dr. Tijerina provided the proposed guidelines and a schedule of the 6-year review period. In addition, the organization of the portfolio and a portfolio checklist is also part of the guidelines. We commend the proactive work done on behalf of the faculty, and we thank them for participating in this proactive measure. It is listed as number 10E on our agenda today. The last one was we worked on it together with the Finance Committee. You all had already heard it at the Finance Committee. But I did want to make sure that I explained a little bit about it. And that was 9D on our list, annual review and adoption of LC board policy, CAK local appropriations and revenue sources investments. We just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that this particular policy was also discussed in the Finance Committee and has been proposed to align policy with Public Investment Act and the guidelines. And we thank Mr. Vela and Valley View Consulting for providing the board with the policy information. And as I conclude my report, I would like to make a motion, Madam Chair, to move 10E, which is adopt and approve post-tenure comprehensive review guidelines, a comprehensive performance evaluation process of tenured employees, to the consent agenda item. That is my motion.
So I have a motion to move 10E to consent agenda. I have a motion by Mrs. Ramos. I have a second by Mr. Rangel. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Yes.
To move it, then you have to vote on the entire agenda. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Muir.
Yeah, Madam President, one of the policies that was discussed at the Program and Policy Committee meeting was the DGBA local policy. And in the current draft, the one that was reviewed yesterday, there is a paragraph at the very end that the title is closed meeting. And we recommend that you put that back in. So that would be one change. And because of that, we should have that item pulled out and then voted on separately. It would be not the version that was presented last night, but a version, last night's version with the closed meeting paragraph placed back in. And
that
just
would
so the
be-
board knows, that closed meeting paragraph, what it does is it incorporates a requirement of the Open Meetings Act. And so it's really language from the statute of the Open Meetings Act.
Madam Chair, I make a motion.
So Mrs. Ramos makes a motion. Which one is that one?
That 9N to approve modifications to LC board policy, DGBA local, DGBA regulation, and DGBA exhibit, personnel management relations, employee grievances. May I,
Good discussion item.
to a discussion item? Yes. 9N.
Okay, so we have a motion to move
Oh,
9N to a discussion item from consent agenda. Do I have a second? I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion?
I do. I have a discussion.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that we all are in understanding that this modification is for the grievance process, right?
Right. And so when we bring it out, we'll discuss it.
Yes.
So that everybody knows exactly what we're doing.
Yes, thank you.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we have all the committee reports reported. Next item we have is a consent agenda.
So moved.
Madam Chair,
Well,
I make a motion that we acknowledge the consent agenda from 9A all the way through 9R with the exception of 9N.
Second.
And
Yes.
adding 10.
And added 10.
And adding to 10E.
E.
They can take the motion.
Okay. So I have a motion by Mr. Martinez. I have a second by Mr. Rangel. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
Next item we have is discussion and possible action. I'm going to start with 9N, which is approved modification to LC Board Policy DGBA Local, DGBA Regulation, and DGBA Exhibit, Personnel Management Relations, Employee Grievances. Ms. Veronica Cardenas.
And Mr. Garcia.
And who?
Mr. Garcia.
Oh, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, ma'am.
Veronica Cardenas, Executive Director of Human Resources. This policy is being proposed to make some modifications to the levels, and here to present more detail on that is Mr. Memo Garcia.
Good evening, Board, Madam President. So the information that you're being presented with there is the red line version of the proposed DGBA local policy. Very briefly, what the policy that the grievance policy that's currently in place has an informal resolution as a level, does the first level. And then the level one begins with a committee made up of 5 individuals, employees of the college. And then level 2 goes to the president or her designee, and then level 3 would be the board. That's the current rubric that we have right now. What we are proposing, the changes that we're proposing, and that's the major change, are those levels. We're recommending to do away with the informal grievance. We're not doing away with it entirely. It's still there in spirit, in the sense, and we do encourage all employees to try and resolve these matters informally as best as they can with their immediate supervisor or the next immediate supervisor available to them. However, the grievance process would actually begin at a level 1 with the vice president in the chain of responsibility for that employee that files a grievance. The level 2, if it were to go to that, would be to go to the president or her designee. And then the level 3 would be to the board. So it's just a slight rearrangement of the levels. The reason that we had removed it from the consent agenda, as Mr. Muir mentioned earlier, there's the very last paragraph on the very last page. We had inadvertently struck it out from the current version, but it will remain. And it's in the current version right now, and it will remain in the current version. What we had proposed yesterday, or the version that we had submitted to the committee yesterday, had it stricken, and that was inaccurate. And that's the only change, and that's why we're coming to you right now.
Motion to approve. Second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Rangel. I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia and Mrs. Cardenas.
Thank you.
I'm gonna, the next item is 10A, discussion and possible action to confirm the designation of Patricia A. Barrera, tax assessor collector, to calculate the no new revenue NNR tax rate and the voter approval tax rate for taxing entity as per Senate Bill 2, Texas Property Tax Reform and Transparency Act of 2019, Tax Code Section 26.04, and any other matters incented thereto. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Yes, members of the board, Cesar Vela, VP of Finance and Administration. We are asking tonight that the board confirm the designation of Patricia A. Barrera, Webb County Tax Assessor Collector, as the officer responsible for the calculation of the new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate for Laredo College. This request is being done to comply with Tax Code Section 26.04, the Texas Property Tax Reform and Transparency Act of 2019. We do have tonight here joining us Ms. Barrera, the Webb County Tax Assessor Collector, and Ms. Maria Elena Morales, Chief Deputy for the Webb County Tax Assessor Collector's Office, in case the board members have any questions regarding the process.
Any questions?
Motion approved. Second.
Make a motion.
So I have a motion by Mr. Rangel and I have a motion by Mr. Martinez.
Sec-
Oh, Ms. Vela has a question. Well, let me go to discussion. No. Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Rangel and Mr. Martinez. I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? Ms. Vela? No? Anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. Morales.
Thank you very much, man.
Good job.
Thank you for being here.
And Ms. Morales.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next item is ten B, approval to place the 1620 Clark property for sale.
So
Mr.
moved.
Cesar Vela. Okay, so I have a motion by
Might
Ms.
well.
Martinez and I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, Mr. Vela.
Thank you.
That was quick.
We'll get
It's been there long enough.
Well, yeah.
You can get started on it. Ten C is selection of architecture firm for facilities, master plan services, and delegate to college president the authority to negotiate a contract and fees. Mr. Cesar Vela.
Yes, board members, we're asking that the board approve O'Connell Robertson as the firm best qualified to provide facilities master plan services. And that you delegate the authority to the college president to negotiate a contract and fees. We did issue a request for qualifications back in January. We received 5 proposals. Those 5 proposals were reviewed by a committee set by the president. Out of those 5, the committee recommended 2 firms for a second round of interviews and presentations. Those 2 committees were evaluated on June 17th using criteria that is listed on your agenda item. Again, with O'Connell Robertson being the ranked the best qualified. Again, we're asking that the board approve the ranking and also allow the president of the college to negotiate a contract.
Madam Chair, so move.
Second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Delgado. I have a second by Ms. Garcia and Ms. Ramos. Any discussion?
I do have
Not-
a question.
Chair recognizes Ms. Liendo.
I see here, I think there's only one local firm, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Was any weight given to them for being local?
It was not part of the criteria that was used to evaluate the rankings.
And what would be the reason that would have them score so much lower?
That was based on the information that was provided in their packet. This firm actually partnered or teamed with another firm. So again, the criteria that was utilized is listed on the RFQ, which was a part of your packet. But again, being a local was not part of the criteria that was utilized for the evaluation.
So it's just more on their experience?
Yes, so this is based on qualifications. So they looked at the qualifications of the team, of the firm, past projects. And again, also the recommended engineering company that they were gonna be utilizing, all the consultants that were gonna be utilized. So the packet asked for information not just on the firm, but also on the team that they were proposing to work on. So all of that was taken into factored in as part of the review.
I understand. Thank you.
Question.
Chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
Yeah, Mr. Vela, just for the record, can you state the 5 that
Sure.
proposed and then the 2 that moved on to the final?
So the 5 firms that submitted their qualifications were O'Connell Robertson, Cavazos Architects, Brodos Planning, Chris Nichols, and Plummer. Those were the 5 firms. The top 2 were Brodos Planning and O'Connell Robertson.
The chair recognizes Dr. Ramirez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just so to let you all know, the committee was made up of faculty and staff and two board members appointed by Ms. Cepeda. And they were the ones that review, and students, and they were the ones that reviewed the qualifications. And I think that Mr. Vela is correct. The experience in master planning at community colleges across the state of Texas was, I think, important. And the size and quality of the architectural team that would be assigned to the project was from the discussion, and that was a big part of the evaluation process.
Any other questions? We'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed, just for the reason that it's nothing against the one that's getting it. I just feel that, we should help our local, a little bit more. So, and for them to get that experience, but they have to have an open door one time. So that's the reason why I'm against it.
So I have 8 that are voting yes and 1 no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
10D is order calling for the election for Board of Trustees, positions 4, 5, and 6, as per board policy BBB, legal, board member selections, the Texas Election Code and the Texas Education Code, and authorizing the college president to enter into a joint election service contract with the Webb County Elections Administrator to conduct and supervise the joint elections of November 5th.
Motion
Dr.
approved. Second.
Veronica Martinez. Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Rangel, I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Ramos.
I would like to hear Dr. Martinez with the presentation.
Okay. Before I take the vote, Mrs. Martinez, can you do the presentation?
Yes, of course. Good evening, board members, President Ramirez, and colleagues. Dr. Veronica Martinez, Associate Vice President of Planning and Institutional Effectiveness, and I also serve as the elections officer for the college. We are seeking approval of the order calling for the election for Board of Trustees position 4, which is currently held by Mr. Delgado, position 5, currently held by Ms. Cepeda, and position 6, currently held by Mr. Rangel, as per board policy BBB legal, board members elections. And in addition, we're seeking authorization from the board to allow the college president to to enter into a joint election service contract with the Webb County Elections Administrator for the November 5th, 2024 general election. We are part of 7 entities that will take part in the general election, including the city, county, LISD, UISD, Rio Bravo, and Encinizo. The college's portion of the contract is estimated to be $116,217.07 for the November 5th election. And I wanted to note that it's important that this may increase in the event of a runoff. We would not know until that time of the cost. And significant dates to consider are that the first day to place a name on the ballot is July 22nd, 2024. The last day to place a name on the ballot is August 19, 2024. The early voting dates will occur from October 21st to November 1st of 2024, and the general election will take place November the 5th of 2024. I'll be happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions?
I would just like to, I don't have a question. I want to say something.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Ramos.
We've seen the increase in the amount as the years have gone by. But for the record, I would like to make sure that our public is well informed that while the board is not paid to serve on the board, we're not compensated. This is one of the things that we need to participate in. And the cost is what is dictated by the elections office.
Yes.
And I'm glad you mentioned that there were 7 entities. I have seen the rising cost of it from the time that we came in, or maybe other board members came in. We were doing maybe 75, 50, 50 to 75,000 at one time. And the other thing that I want to make sure that the public is apprised of is that in the event that there is not an individual that gets 50% plus one vote, they have to go into a runoff.
Yes.
And that is another cost incurred. And so we might need to remind the public, ourselves, every 6 years, because elections take place every 6 years for that board particular section.
Yes.
But every 2 years, we do come up with other groups that are running.
Yes.
So since we have 9, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
And so, you know, I just think it's really important to make sure that we state that for the public to understand. It comes with a cost, and we, as the candidate, foots the bill for their campaign, but we don't get any reimbursement for it. So the college pays so that you can go ahead and have an election, and it comprises of the workers. It comprises of the individual locations. And so I was taken aback by the number.
A significant rise from our last election. We had at 81,000 approximately.
Yes.
And we do have an itemized contract that details all of the costs, and that is dictated by the Webb County Elections Administration.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a comment.
Chair recognizes Ms. Guillen.
Thank you. I would like to see that itemized list.
Yes.
And the reason for that is that we have seen that now the polling sites are fewer because you can vote anywhere, even on election day. So not every site is open. So I would have assumed that the cost would be going down. And since it isn't, I'm just curious to see why not.
What it is. And I did notice the operations cost is the one that significantly increased, not necessarily, there are less polling sites, you are right. The operations cost, including because now they use a lot more technology
Yes.
with those machines, and that was the significant cost. Some of the other costs did go down, but that was the one that was significantly higher.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
We'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Martinez.
Thank you.
Dr. Martinez, sorry. 10F is approval of Palomino Pledge for the academic year 2024-2025. Dr. Fred Solis.
Madam President, esteemed board members, President Ramirez and colleagues. For the record, Fred Solis, Vice President for Student Success and Enrollment. Through this agenda item, administration is proposing for the board to consider approving the Palomino Pledge and Enrollment Incentive Program for the 2024-2025 school year. The Palomino Pledge Program would help eliminate financial barriers to enrollment by closing the gap between the cost of tuition and fees and what financial aid is able to cover, otherwise known as the last dollar coverage. The Palomino Pledge Program would be funded using $3 million of institutional monies from the fiscal year 2025 budget. To qualify for the Palomino Pledge, students would have to meet eligibility criteria that promote student enrollment, student engagement, and completion. Are there any questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
The chair recognizes Mrs. Ramos.
I just want to say thank you to Dr. Ramirez and to the staff, because this is it's been a long time coming.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to all the other resources that are provided for our students. As we all know, or if we don't know, but in other institutions, they do have other pledges that they have provided. And I really have waited to see this day for our college. So I'm very grateful for you all to be able to bring this to our college, and for the esteemed board members to vote on it, because it's going to be very beneficial to our students.
Madam President, if I may, I would like to publicly recognize the individuals that helped put this together, beginning with Dr. Ramirez, our president, Mr. Cesar Vela, our CFO, Ms. Jessica Trevino in Enrollment Management, Mr. Steven Aguilar from Financial Aid, Ms. Norma Cano from the Bursar's Office, and Ms. Linda Gomez from Finance Office Accounting, and many others that came together and through various committee meetings and so on to come up with the vision of enrolling it out, as you have stated, Ms. Ramos. We still have a little bit of work to do in creating the eligibility criteria, but again, it's in favor of student success.
Thank you, Dr. Solis.
Thank you.
So I have a motion by Mr. Rangel.
No, it was JD.
Oh, by Mr. Delgado,
Second.
a second by Mr. Rangel.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
No, ma'am.
None heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much, Dr. And Dr. Ramirez for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is 10G, amend President's 2024 evaluation timeline, Ms. Lupita Cepeda. And basically, all we're doing on the timeline, we initially had agreed on August the 1st, and we're changing it to August the 6th for the Laredo College president present an institutional report to the board. Board reviews the report findings and prepares to discuss the evaluation with the president. And then board conducts the 2023-2024 evaluation of the college president and meet with the college president. So we're asking to move it to August the 6th.
Madam Chair, so move.
So I have a motion by Mr. Delgado and a second by Mr. Rangel and Mrs. Ramos. Any discussion?
Ma'am.
None heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next
Miss-
item is yes.
Somebody had a question.
Oh, who has a question? Ms. Vela or Ms. Elizondo? No,
Just kidding.
They just raised.
Yeah.
they wish they had to vote, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is, Ms. Bella wanted to second. She
Okay,
did actually.
okay, Ms. Vela, second. Next item.
second.
Second,
moved to the sixth?
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
special called meeting.
So we'll keep you all posted. The next item is executive session.
So move.
So I have a motion for Mr. Martinez.
Second.
I have a second by Mrs. Ramos. So at this time, we're going into executive session. The time is 7:33.
You have to read them.
Oh, sorry. 11A, discussion to review the board self-evaluation results as required by board policy, BCG local, board internal organization, board evaluation, and by Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, Commission on Colleges, SAC, Principles of Accreditation, closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code, sections 551.071 and 551.074. 11B is closed session discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.071 and 551.074.
Todas están limpias.
Your mic is on.
Karina, your
Your
mic.
mic is on, Karina.
Sorry.
Regarding an update on non-renewal of employment contract of a Laredo College faculty member. 11C is closed session discussion pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.071 and 551.074 to discuss an employee complaint arising from a grievance heard by the Laredo College Board of Trustees and the subsequent investigation conducted under Board Policy DIAB Local, Freedom from Discrimination, Harassment, and Retaliation, other protective characteristics. So I have a motion by Mr. Martinez. I have a second by
Second.
Mrs. Ramos to go into executive session. So we will go into executive session. It's 7:35. Oh, I need to vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So now we're going to executive session and the board will adjourn into executive session. Thank you, everybody.
That's the red and black.
Todos los papeles.
Estoy matando hormigas.
Well, you know.
Who's gonna give Rex?
It's better.
He's gonna do it.
It's better. I'm just gonna make sure.
Well, I had him here. I was waiting.
And you could go back. Yeah, there's a bunch of resolutions on.
Session
back. Non-employed, so they didn't get paid.
I know some of these, right?
Let's go, let's go. First.
Not too bad.
We reconvened from closed session. The time is now 8:32, and the board took no action in executive session. We'll take appropriate action on items if necessary, as discussed in closed session. So the item is 12A, review the board's self-evaluation results as required by board policy BCG local, board internal organization, board evaluation, and by Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, SACS, SCOC, Principles of Accreditation. Do I have a motion to accept the results?
Second.
So I have a motion by Mrs. Garcia and I have a second by Mr. Delgado. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item we have is president's remarks. We have 13A, campus police personnel and travel reports. 13B, president's remark. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all for being here again today. This, as we get closer to the end of this academic school year, there's so many things that are pressing for all of us, and so we're grateful for the quorums, and we know that it's summer and many of you are traveling and have things to do, and so we really appreciate your service. On July 22nd, I'll be flying out that afternoon to Dallas. I'm presenting at the National Ruffalo Noel Levitz Conference. They've asked me to present on a panel with other presidents, two other presidents for the strategic planning that we're doing, the enrollment programming that we're doing, and so I've presented at this conference several times before, and so they've asked me to come back in this capacity now, and so I'll be gone that day, and I'll be back on the 23rd. I present at 10:30 in the morning, and so I am on the next available flight back. And so that, to let you all know that. In addition, we've got attached to your board packet is our police report for the month. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Things are going extremely well, and our partnership with between our LC police department and all of our external agencies is going very, very well. As you can see in your report, there is minimal activity going on. I do think that the efforts we've made over the course of the last 6 months has extremely reduced the amount of concern or traffic or safety, whether it's from people crossing through the river. They just don't cross through our campus very much anymore because of the vigilance that's going on. I feel strongly about saying that I feel safe walking out from my office at night and walking around the campus. I really do. I mean, there's quite a change in the atmosphere here, thanks to the efforts of our police department. And so I want to thank them publicly. We have our next meeting July 10th, we're going to have a presentation at 10 o'clock in the morning for a JET grant check. And if you're available, we're probably doing it in this room. I know that Ms. Bocanegra has been sending you all information about that, and that's going to be exciting for our continuing ed program. This Saturday, we're hosting a Palomino Saturday, and that's to help open up our services to those students who may be considering or who want to consider coming to school and need more information. All of the departments have graciously accepted to be here on Saturday, and so the Lerma Peña building will be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you're available, please stop by. We'd love to have you. July 4th is a holiday for our campus, and so we will be closed on that day. And as we throughout the summer, we've scheduled, you heard the presentation. Well, we heard the presentation during student success. We have orientation sessions going on all summer long. Every Thursday, there is an orientation. Some are here and then some are at the South Campus, so that we are available to all of our students. And having said that, we've attached a events calendar to your packet as well for upcoming events. And we're very excited about the beginning of the fall semester. As we kick off the fall semester this August, we have invited Dr. Klein, who is our liaison to SAC COC, to be our convocation speaker. And so we're very excited. He's going to be with us for a little over 24 hours, right, Dr. Sun? But he'll be here and he'll be on campus, and we'll be meeting with all of our our SACS writing teams, and he will be presenting at convocation. Our strategic planning process is coming along nicely. You should get a presentation from the SACS team probably around either August or September board meeting to give you a briefing on what they've done, and we should be completed by sometime in late September or October. Well, I'm giving them till the end of September, but okay. And so we've got an incredible amount of time also spent on, as we finish the strategic plan, an enrollment management plan coming through the series of things that we're trying to get done to make sure that everything aligns with the goals and objectives of and the mission and vision of the college. And so with that, I'll say thank you all very much again and have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. The only thing I have is the next meeting date and upcoming events. She mentioned Wednesday, July 10th at 10 a.m., the JET grant check presentation. If all of you can make it, please plan to be here. Thursday, July 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. is our regular monthly Board of Trustees meeting. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Have a motion by Mr. Delgado, a second by Mrs. Ramos and Mr. Martinez. Any discussion? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We did it.
Cherish that moment.
I know, right?
Thank you so much, as always. Thank you for everything. As always.
Good night. Good night.
So much.
Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, good seeing you.
Next time.
I had it down.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Thank you.
I think I took your seat. Right, you were here? No, we were there. Yes. Yeah, good to have you. Yes. Bye. Bye.
I have a bunch of videos.
Bye, Cindy.
Out of town.